Oh boy, what a time to be alive. Hello everyone and welcome to this video, which is about JonTron and stuff. I've never done anything like this before, politics and stuff. But, I just kind of felt like I needed to defend this guy. Because he's pretty cool and all that jazz. I want to make one thing clear before any of this. I don't 100% agree with everything he said. I do agree with his one main point that he kept bringing up, to an extent at least. But there are a couple side things he brought up that I'm like, I'm not sure where you got that from. But, yeah. I don't agree with him 100%, but I agree with him on his main thing. And this isn't really this isn't entirely a defense of his opinions. This is a defense of him as a person and his channel. And I have this little notepad thing brought up, so it's kind of unscripted, but I have some pointers, I guess. First thing is that destiny is impossible. I do want to point one thing out. I had no idea. Well, I have no idea who Destiny is. I had no idea who he was before. I don't know who existed before this whole thing came up. So I don't know anything about him as a person or anything like that. But it did seem like he was being pretty impossible with them. He kept bringing up the same question that John answered many times over again. Like he just didn't get it or something. I think he just didn't understand what he was trying to say. Yeah, he I don't want to just argue Destiny right now, but he still thinks the racism is a big issue in North America, the Western world. It's not, legal discrimination is illegal now. You can't happen. And I know that social justice warriors or whatever you want to call them. I'm not sure if he identifies as one. I have no idea. And they say, well, obviously it's not illegal, but some people in the West are still racist, and that's why we're here to, get rid of them. But fact of the matter is you can't do that. You just can't, and I don't want to say ignore them only, but that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to just deal with racist people. If they get violent and hit a person because they're racist against them, then take them to court because that's illegal. If they just hate them, hating them isn't illegal. And there's nothing you can do about it, and I'm sorry, but it's true, they're assholes, and that's the end of that. Second point I want to bring up, I guess this is going to be kind of a short video, but I don't know, whatever. Second point, the only thing I'm actually mad about, I'm not mad about many things. I don't get mad at many things. The one thing I am mad about are images like these that pop up on Twitter, like, oh man, unsubbing from JonTron, here's a couple other left-leaning people that you should subscribe to, and blah blah blah. And I think that's the dumbest thing in the world, because John isn't very political, at all. He went on 2 streams, gave his opinions, and he's on Twitter a lot talking about it, but his main JonTron channel isn't touched by any of this. There's one instance on his entire channel where he talks about it, and that's his latest Q&A video. It's not a main video or anything like that. Why unsub? If you enjoyed his content before, it's the same. It's not gonna come up. His political views aren't gonna come up in any of his future video things that he makes. So I don't know. Unsubbing from is just kind of dumb. I've never unsubbed from anyone because I disagree with them politically. Example, ETC, their channel I watch a lot, and they're very left-leaning. They're not, alt-left or whatever you want to call them. They're pretty left, and I disagree with them, quite frequently, but they're still funny people to watch, and because of that, I will watch them. I don't want to pick a fight or whatever. I just watch them because they're funny. I disagree with their political opinions. They bring them up sometimes, barely any times at all. JonTron never brings it up in his actual video lineup. He might in the future. If he does, then this video is garbage, I guess. But he never has, and I doubt he ever will. Alright, now the one thing I do agree with is his main point, and how people keep taking it the wrong way. Here's a Twitter conversation I got from NeoGaf. And it's really dumb. This pisses me off, because people don't get what an analogy is. In this instance, John is trying to prove his point with an analogy to Japan. And this fucking asshole right here thinks he's literally talking about making America Japan and says, why don't you move there? if you love it so much. And the thing is he doesn't want to turn America into Japan. He's using Japan as an analogy. If I say I'm hard as a rock, I'm not saying my dick is a rock, you dicks. He's saying that if anyone, like, if we were to go into a country, any country in the world, doesn't matter which one, and say, hey, your culture is dumb, let's change that, everyone would be mad. Everyone would hate us. The thing is that he's arguing against is that this could happen in the U.S., and that wouldn't be a bad thing, but people would be okay with it. And why are people okay with it happening in the U.S., but not okay with it when we do it to others? And it's obviously not okay when we do it to others, and it shouldn't be okay when they do it here, and that's what he's trying to say. Ah, man. So I guess that's all I really have. People don't get analogies. That one main point he made is right. Some of his other ones are still kind of iffy. I don't completely disagree with them, but they're not really all there. His main channel is untouched, so there's no need to unsub or whatever. That's kind of a petty action. Yeah. So there we go. There's my 2 cents anyway. Love you all, I guess. Have fun.
Remember everyone, discrimination doesn't exist in America anymore. Try hard.
Destiny, why do you think black people commit a disproportionate amount of crime? As a black person, I feel like you just told me that I don't have control over my actions because of my upbringing. Because guess what? For the most part, you don't. You are a slave of your fucking environment. It's true for white people, it's true for Hispanic people, and it's true for fucking black people.